Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Sleeping Warrior, Righteous Force, Ranty Flat Earth, Paul Hall, Chocolate Saiyan, Brian's Logic, Arwin, and a non-moto. So very good to have you all. I think we've got 10th man, I just can't see me slightly off screen. But hello one and all in the Discord, in the G Plus server.
Hello.
Hey, hey, hey.
Morning.
Hey. Good morning.
Hey.
It's got a fair few people
Ether
in
or
Discord.
I'm here.
Hello everyone in Discord as well. Good to have you all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. Any signs of Earth curvature? Let's rattle our way through housekeeping. Earth
Not
curve.
from Morro Bay.
Anybody in Discord? Any signs of Earth curvature?
None what's
Fine. Moving on. Any signs of axial rotation? Oh, Ranty's here. Of the Earth-based variety.
Nah. Nobody's moving.
No, let's go. No to all the questions, because I got two arguments coming up.
Well, I'll get through them. Any evidence?
No, it's all the
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No.
no.
Any scientific?
Parker satellites claimed as a thing, but we haven't got any data to support it. It's just a claim.
Hopefully, we'll get the mathematics and proofs.
So no.
I mean, like ether.
We'll get to ether. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No, definitely none. Just beliefs. Just beliefs.
helium balloon.
Like ether.
Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of my God, this is going to be like pulling teeth, isn't it? Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Any evidence of Earth radius, the R value?
Nope. For that, see question 1.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Only in pictures.
Last but by no means least, any evidence, for all the fundamentalist religious zealots who believe in a sky vacuum, possibly the ether if you're a fundamentalist flat earther, that you can have gas pressure without a container?
No.
Stop being a contrarian, Nathan. Be neutral.
No.
What vacuum?
Like photons.
No, you can't have gas pressure without a container. It's in the definition.
From my neutral standpoint, I know there's been absolutely zero evidence for ether presented. Is that neutral enough for you?
What's ether?
I don't know. Maybe you could tell me, given that you're claiming it.
Hold on. I got my two arguments. 1 second. Can I give my two arguments real quick?
Let's stop asking and just do it.
Go for it, man.
Okay. Number 1, I need to know how the lack of balloon beeps at altitude means ether. Number 1. And number 2, ether. I need to know this. Why ether exists because Arwin was right about something 2 years ago. I want to hear that argument from you, Anon. You freaking clown.
Proving ether. I'm just saying you figure it out just like how you figure
That was your argument.
That was not my argument. That was just letting you know that you'll figure it out eventually.
No.
But you have to change the
That
screen name
ether
from quantum
exists
erasure
because
to-
Arwen was right about something 2 years ago. We got it taped. You freaking bozo.
There's no tape. Okay, first of all, there's no tape.
Yeah,
Not
it's
All right,
recorded.
that's been
taped.
smashed.
It's
Moving on.
recorded.
Moving on. That's been smashed. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the lack of balloon beeps at altitude means ether. Please either demonstrate
called a red
it's a
herring.
logical train wreck.
Straw man.
Why are you saying straw man? Right. First,
It's
that's
a
it.
straw man.
Why is it a straw
That
man?
is not because
Give him a
that
fair
is
crack.
not the proof for ether. That was just analogy. That was just an analogy.
It's not an analogy.
Right,
It was
let me
perfect
let me
analogy.
ask
That's-
one
that's
question. Let me ask one question to just John. Nobody else answer, just John. Is the ether a contentious why is the ether a contentious topic? What does it matter?
You already asked this. You already asked this.
I know,
It's not a contentious
and I've not had an
topic.
answer.
Let me answer. It's not a contentious topic. We just need somebody to make a claim. If they make a claim, no matter who it is, to provide evidence for that claim. Now,
But
you're
that's
saying
not,
this.
That's not answering my
I'm
question.
assuming. Holy shit! Are you done?
Not really. Answer the question. Is it a
I'm
contentious
answering a
issue or
fucking
not?
question.
No swearing, please. We're live.
Yes, it is a contentious issue.
Just shut up. Let him
because-
answer. For God's sake.
My God, I already did answer. If you have a claim, you came in here claiming ether. All we're asking for is evidence of it. Is it a substance? Is it a concept? Number one, define it. What is it? And then demonstrate it. Give a substance of what it is. Thanks.
Right, you haven't
The same
answered my
thing about
question.
photon.
No, stop. He hasn't answered my question. My question is the existence or the lack of existence of the ether, why is it a contentious issue?
Why is it a contentious issue?
Yeah.
That's your question to me?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know, because Arwen's favorite color is chartreuse. Good.
It's only contentious.
Can we move on now?
No. I can answer.
Not
I'll
really.
answer.
It's not.
It's contentious if you can't prove it, having claimed it.
Like photons. Prove
But it's not.
photons.
It's not as if someone's saying that gravity is
Shut
a
up
force
and
and that's
on.
the explanation for
Wow.
things falling, right? Whether it exists or doesn't exist, I don't even see why it's an issue. But everybody said it's just erupted like a volcano, right? But why? What does it matter? Is there an important point that follows whether it exists or doesn't exist?
That's what we're waiting for. We have people claiming this thing exists. All we want is evidence for it. Why is that so outrageous to ask for?
But if it's not an issue whether it exists or not, why do we even need evidence for it? And why is there an argument over it?
Oh my God.
Because you don't want to go about believing in things that aren't real just because it's not contentious in your mind. If I say unicorns are real, and then someone comes along and says, is it even contentious whether or not we've got invisible unicorns? And everyone goes, nah, let's just accept it.
Can I?
That's a really good analogy. Nobody falls out with people for saying that unicorns don't really exist. Let's see evidence that they exist, because we know that they're not real, right? But it's not contentious if they are real, because everybody generally says unicorns are not real. Does it
Who gives
really
a shit
matter?
if it's contentious or not?
Look how many people fall out when you tell them gravity is not a force.
Yeah, but that's
It's the same shit.
They
when
rely.
when I'm walking around my everyday life, bro, I don't need gravity, okay? Until somebody asserts that it's real, gravity itself does not matter to me.
I
right?
agree.
Until
I agree.
somebody asserts that it's real. Now you have to tell me what it is and show me what it's about.
Okay, let me.
Can
try
we
to
prove
explain
that
this.
it
Give me
exists?
1 minute. Can I
So
have 1 minute?
that's just my response to you when you say, does it matter? Well, not really. Until somebody says, yeah, this has to be ether. Okay, what is that?
but the
Well,
problem
talk
is-
about
I
that
just
then.
want to say one thing on this. 1 second. Right, I haven't said anything about it. If right, people wondered why things fell to the floor, and then they were told gravity, and then everyone said gravity. Everything falls to the floor because of gravity. Now we know that's a load of rubbish because we actually found out it's a load of rubbish, right? With ether, light is going through a vacuum. So people say, "Oh, it has to be ether." It's the same thing as saying things fall to the floor because there has to be gravity. You know, you can't. Why
Exactly.
accept one and not accept the other?
But the
Give
thing,
proof
hang
to
on,
it.
hang on,
If it's
hang on,
either it is
hang
or
on.
it's not. You know.
The counter to that
Good
is
point.
that there is nothing. I don't see anything following on from whether the ether exists or not. But with gravity, it gives you the heliocentric model because orbits and planets and all that shite. But
That's
what?
just it. Things were falling down before somebody gave it a name,
Right.
right?
But
The
what does it
world
matter
worked
whether?
how it worked. Less
Anthony,
dense
Okay.
things went up, right? That's just how it works.
Yes,
Until
I
somebody
don't-
came along, gave it a name, gave it a theory as to why it's happening,
Don't want to.
Anthony,
right?
do you
And
believe?
Hold
then
on,
with
10th man,
that
hold on.
came a story. Sorry, 10th man. Go ahead.
Hold on, 10th man.
Anthony.
Hold on, just before you go. You said that unicorns aren't contentious, right, Anthony?
Yeah.
So if I now say that the supposition that light is requiring a medium to traverse is negated because the unicorns that were uncontentious are actually carrying the light to us through that medium. Now, given that unicorns are completely uncontentious and I'm claiming they're carrying light particles through this medium, is that contentious to you?
Point taken. I hear your point and I agree. That would make the unicorns contentious. But my question still stands. Why is it contentious whether the ether exists or not when there's not a logical progression from whether it exists or not? So what? If it exists, it exists. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Does it mean anything?
What the world, man? Do we need to explain that to you again?
Let me
You haven't explained it. You haven't answered me, John.
Yeah, we're stopping pretender clowns from conjuring baseless assertions and claiming shit's real when it's not.
Like,
you get it?
Anthony, can I
Go
get
on.
your? Okay,
Yeah,
let
go
me
on.
try to answer your last statement. Does ether bolster a closed system or an open system?
That's my question. I do not think it bolsters either. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Okay, so in the closed system, the sun, moon, and stars are inside of the closed system. In an open system, it's a vacuum of space. You tell me.
So it's only contentious because it allows the expansion of space to exist if the ether exists.
because it's not accepted by the mainstream media or mainstream science. They don't accept it. Ether is the big bad word that you can't say. You know, it's just like saying
Mainstream science doesn't exist, and no vacuums exist either. So you're just out in fairy tale land.
But I was just gonna say that though, if there's no vacuum, there's no necessity for an ether, is there?
Well,
yeah,
not only
you
that.
can create your own vacuum inside by sucking air
We've
out of the
segued.
box and put a
No,
light
you
bulb
can't.
in there.
Hello, hold
Go
on,
to
just
the
one
light
second.
bulb.
So what Anon's done is segued us away from empirical science and onto the consensus opinion of scientists.
No, I haven't.
Really? So
This is when doesn't Quantum Eraser quote bunch of scientists like what is it?
Oh God!
Other
Why do you do this? Why do you use these baller techniques?
Because he's a fucking retard.
Yeah, why are you using a baller technique? Asking what and
I'm not using a baller
saying what
technique.
Quantum Eraser's saying. No, you've gone on to the consensus opinion of scientists. We're segued away from scientific empiricism and onto opinion of men.
Hold on, doesn't all the videos that Quantum Eraser puts about
Here we go again. Same exact routine.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's an
quoting
idiot,
mainstream
man.
Scientists, quantum
Sorry.
mechanics.
No.
Isn't he?
Sorry, who cares what he's doing?
No,
when
it's not the
you're
same, you
appealing to
dumbass.
It's a double
consensus
standard
for
you
this.
guys have, because you have a double standard.
Hold on, QE. I can only get rumpus by one person at a time. You've appealed to consensus of scientists as opposed to empiricism offered by science. That's what you've done.
Just like
don't
Quantum
just
Eraser.
don't now move on to what Quantum Eraser's done in some meaningless example that you're paralleling this with. Just accept that that's what you've done. What
Well,
scientists
just
accept
pointing out
is
that
irrelevant.
that's what
Mainstream science, you said. Yeah, and QE's response was, there's no such animal. It's either empirically valid through scientific method-based experimentation, or it isn't. Who cares what they think?
Yeah, except in his videos, he's always quoting Wheeler, which is the same thing, quoting a bunch of mainstream scientists. So how is that not a double standard?
What the
Double
hell is
standard.
he talking
I
about?
don't know.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
You were
When
talking
maybe
about...
he's pointing at people that actually did
I
experimentation.
don't get it.
I know.
I point out he's appealing to consensus.
Just like Cavendish, huh?
He's talked about what mainstream science does and doesn't believe. He talks about a specific quote that's not been specified by an individual, not an appeal to consensus, in no way paralleling what I'm asking him. Just pay attention and on.
Okay, let me explain to you why ether exists.
Go ahead.
First of all, if light behaves as waves. Why? Because
No, it
if
doesn't.
you shine
Wrong.
two lights
No,
through
it
two
doesn't.
holes- Hold on.
It doesn't
See,
behave
they
as
won't let me finish.
waves. No, it does
They
not.
cannot let me finish this point.
Well, because it doesn't do that.
Yes, it does. You could do it with a $4 laser from Amazon and 2 slits in a black.
Here we go again.
Okay, let me try.
Shining the
QE,
light.
let me try. Let me see if I can reason with him. So, you get a diffraction pattern when you put a laser through a double slit, according to you, correct?
Yes, and
okay,
that
no
is-
worries.
and that-
Non, I just
waves
need you to...
behave-
Non, please don't make this take 20 minutes. So you get a diffraction pattern, yeah? What about if you've got a slit detector? Do you still get this?
I don't have a slit detector.
Shut
What
up!
the hell is a slit detector?
What the hell is your problem? I'm trying to talk
Because you're talking
to
about
you
slit
and you're
detectors. What the
interrupting.
hell's a slit
Anon,
detector?
Anon, try and be reasonable. At some point, you can force that wave function to collapse. At that point, it is... What's your problem? At that point, it is no longer even capable of being described mathematically as a wave. Upon collapse, the wave function has collapsed. No longer mathematically being described as wave-like in any way. So, upon collapse, where are you getting wave from?
It never was a wave in the first place.
No, that's right, Arwin. I don't need help. Arwin.
I waited so long. Okay, I did not do anything mathematical. I did not pull out a calculator. I didn't do anything. All I did is shine a light through 2 holes. On my wall, I have a pattern that is represented when you have wave going through 2 different holes. Be it water, be it whatever. So that pattern.
No, that's not what you see.
Function.
You're just making this shit up. You're just making this shit up. You're making it up.
No, it's not.
No, you are making this up. You didn't see waves like through a pool.
There's no such thing as slit detectors.
Anon, you're really starting to annoy me. You've just made that up.
Jesus,
Anon, you're just making shit up. No, you didn't observe any wave like in a pool when you shined the light through a slit. That did not happen. You have not observed that. That's just you making stuff up.
Okay, I'll tell you
Light
what.
is not a wave, buddy. It
On
really
Monday,
isn't.
I will show it to you on my kitchen wall. How about that? You like that?
Yeah,
Show
it's
what?
still not a wave. It's not a wave you're looking at.
Arwin, you're making
It's a
life
wave
even
pattern.
harder.
It's a diffraction pattern on my wall.
Yeah, he's now engaging Arwin. What a shock. So what are you going to show me? You're going to show me a diffraction pattern on the wall.
Correct.
So you're not going to show me anything that's remotely described as being wave-like, just a diffraction pattern, otherwise known as wave function on the wall. That's what you're going to show me.
I'm not going to show you a wave function on the wall. I'm going to show you a diffraction pattern on the
Yeah,
wall.
that's a wave function. That's a probability distribution when described mathematically. That's what it is. Anon, I'm done. Anon, shut up. You don't have the slightest clue what you're babbling about.
Hey, dude.
There's no wave between you and that light pattern on the wall that's described as a wave function when you put it in mathematical terms. You're not witnessing stuff going through a pool. You've just got a diffraction pattern on a wall. That's it. And that diffraction pattern is described as a wave function mathematically. Now, because boneheads decide... Shut up! Because boneheads like you decide that makes it a wave, even though I can say, well, what about when it's not capable of being described as a wave function? You've just got 2 bars on the wall because you've stuck a slit detector in. Well, at that point, there's no way...
It's not 2 bars.
I'm still talking. The dumbest person here that doesn't know what the hell he's on about is interrupting me continually. Yeah, there's no wave between you and that pattern on the wall. It's just a pattern on the wall described mathematically as a function of wave, otherwise known as probability distribution. But upon collapse, you've got nothing at all that's going to be described as a wave function. Nothing. Nada. So at that point, you don't have anything to qualify it as being wave-like. But you're still going to do it.
You can deny the pattern on my wall all you want, but I have
Which
a
one?
pattern that's...
Which one?
Whoa,
Which
He's not
pattern?
denying anything.
Which pattern? The wave function, otherwise known as diffraction, the pattern that you're describing there, or the two bars that cannot be quantified mathematically as a probability distribution anymore. No longer a wave function. At that point, you're going to tell me that it is still a wave.
The pattern on my wall can only be caused by waves and not particles.
Wrong.
You're just not listening.
By diffraction.
The diffraction
not
pattern
listening.
is
It's
being
a
described
cross by
mathematically. He's too
diffraction.
dumb. I give
Why
up.
do you keep
I give up
asserting
because
this?
Arwen's now helping me yet again. I don't need help, Arwen. I just need to talk to him without him then engaging you over the top of me. No.
I get it.
The-
but it's
the
also
point
a bit my
that-
subject, so
I give up.
stay out of it.
I give up.
I'll stay out of it. Don't worry.
Yeah, wave
There's no
function.
mathematical
Can I ask a
function.
question?
There's no
The
wave
process
function
is
collapse.
even
There's
described.
none of that nonsense. There's
Ugh.
no slit detectors.
Jesus wept.
It's just two holes and a light.
Yeah, we
and
know
you
what it
get
is.
a-
Yeah, we don't need you to repeat it ad nausea. We need you to acknowledge
Okay.
that there's a process that's being described. That process is called wave function collapse. Now,
You can keep repeating it slowly, but it doesn't make sense. It means
yeah,
nothing.
no, not
Wave
it
function
doesn't make
collapse means
sense.
nothing.
No.
Means
Not it doesn't make
absolutely
sense.
nothing.
No, not it doesn't make sense. You don't understand it.
Just like ether. You don't understand ether. I
You haven't
can say the same
proven
thing.
ether. Wave function collapse is
trying to.
absolutely demonstratable and has been done so thousands, if not tens of thousands of times.
What, using slit detectors? Show me the slit detector. And we're
You're
gonna
an
get one.
idiot. You don't have the clue what
I'm
you're
an idiot
babbling
because
about.
I don't believe in slit detectors.
Wave function
Okay,
collapse
got it.
is not being shown with a slit detection. No, that's showing which slit the light traversed through. So you don't understand anything you're talking about, and then giving me this, wave functions being detected by the slit detector. No, you just don't
You told me
understand
about the
any
slit
of this
detectors.
that we're discussing at all, and are throwing out nonsensical techno babble that sounds a bit like the stuff we're discussing and do understand. You, on the other hand, haven't got the vaguest clue what you're babbling about.
Nathan, may
Can I
I
ask a
interrupt
question?
a second,
Yeah,
please? I have
yes,
some
yes.
relevant input.
Go ahead, Arwen. Sorry to
In
cut you
order
off.
for Anon to, in his mind, at least try to disprove this wave, okay? So if he really thinks that light is a wave, and I'm not going with that personally, if he really thinks it's a wave, like as a ripple in the water, as the pattern kind of points at that it could be like that. It's just an apparent correlation, okay? If he really thinks light is a literal wave, well, why don't you do the double slit thing and do the light spready, and then get a background to exactly account for the shape of the presumed waves of light, and then see if it actually is a wave, if it actually is a ripple, or that it just turns out to be seeming like a ripple. Why don't you actually prove the wave instead of just mistakenly interpreting this wave function? It's so ludicrous at this point.
I don't
Come
know
on.
what you're talking about. I don't know how you can put a wave on the wall. What you can do is you can show.
Well,
that
it's being
a-
projected,
the
right? So you're
diffraction
assuming it
pattern
is a wave. It is the light itself is a wave being projected on there. Well, that means that's going to have a wave-like effect. It's going to have distances and point
Exactly, wave-like effect, meaning diffraction
as
pattern.
a
With,
wave. So why don't you show the actual wave transpiring by changing the distance to the double slit, and then showing that it actually is a wave, instead of just a pattern that you can interpret as if it had been a wave but isn't.
when you have a diffraction pattern where two things cancel out and then the other two, create a peak. So you have highs and lows, and you have basically a line where one line is high and the other line is low and low.
I know the wave pattern.
That's
Oh,
a
what-
pattern that's
That's
caused
not
by
wave
two waves intersecting each other. It's
No, it
just the
isn't.
way it is.
You're
No.
not listening. You're not
A couple
listening.
of ripple.
If it is really
rocks.
a wave,
But
and
Anon,
show it by changing the depth right? If it is literally a wave and not just a pattern that kind of reminds you of a wave pattern, if it really is literally a wave, as you're trying to forward constantly, well, show it. Change the depth of the distance towards the double slit and show that it actually is a wave.
But how is it a wave if you send the particles in one by one and you still get the diffraction pattern? How is it a wave?
I've never sent a particle in. I've never was able to shoot a single.
I didn't say.
Are you able to shoot a single photon?
I didn't say you, and I didn't say me.
Okay.
But the experiment has been done, right?
The Cavendish experiment has been done also. Yeah.
That's not an experiment.
Exactly my point. That is not an experiment.
Really?
Nobody. I didn't say Cavendish. You did.
That's normally your segue into.
It's even worse than Cavendish because at least with Cavendish I can go get some balls. With this, I can't go get a photon gun nor a photon detector. None of that shit. It's all.
Listen to this fucking clown talk
I've told
about the
him.
same nonsense
I've told
over
him.
and over again.
He's just going to keep babbling though. Argon pump laser.
Yeah.
Did you look it up? Argon pump laser. He said, "I haven't got a single photon gun." Yeah, yeah.
Let me
I
go
heard
back on
what you
topic.
said.
Can I bring it back on topic a sec? If, regardless of whether the ether does or does not exist, if we accept that sound waves need a medium to propagate through, and then when you go beyond a certain height, them sound waves stop propagating, so there's no medium for them to propagate through anymore, we can agree with that bit. The fact that you can see light above that, doesn't that indicate that there must be something there for the light to propagate through if the sound waves can't propagate through the medium below?
Whoa. You just jump from sound to light.
Yeah.
But you can't assume
You just jump from sound to light. It's such a false equivalence fallacy. It's a train wreck. One sound propagates through a medium, right? Correct? It moves the air, moves the medium, right? Light isn't a medium.
Light is a disturbance in the medium.
Oh God.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, what's the medium?
Ether.
The ether.
No, but
you can laugh all you want.
What's ether?
Guys, listen, it doesn't help if we're all shouting at each other because I'm genuinely on the fence with this. I don't know either way, and I don't really see why it's that important. But let's
okay, what's ether?
Because it breaks
No
quantum
problem.
mechanics.
What's ether?
Shit's all over it.
No one's answering you.
Not a problem.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Ask your
What's
question again.
ether?
Who?
Anybody.
Is ether a substance?
Medium.
I believe it's a medium.
To be a substance, to be physical, you have to have chemical formula or structure, charge, mass, momentum, or spin, or if it's energy, milli-electron volts, kcals, or kilojoules. Does ether have any of those?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The concept of ether, and it is a concept, is presumed to be energy mostly. Energy out of reach, but can.
Okay,
we don't want
what's
concept.
the milli-electron volts or kcals or kilojoules for a liter of ether?
I don't think there is any volumetric value that can be ascribed to ether.
There you go.
Well, then why are you defending it?
He's not.
Because it is still a concept worthwhile exploring as long as you
it's a
don't
concept.
falsely claim some kind of scientific evidence for it, like Ananas. It's ridiculous.
This isn't scientific evidence. Let's take it out of the realm of science. It's not scientific evidence. We're not looking for cause and effect here. We're looking for a what or an is.
Does speed of light change through
Right?
different mediums? Yes or no?
We're looking for a what or an is. So what is ether?
Does speed of light differ?
Oh my God. Answer the question.
Hold on.
What
Jimmy.
is
Hold on.
ether? I've been asking it for about an hour and a half.
Hello. Like, I don't need a new question. It's been asked 6 times. I've cleared the airwaves for it. There's a long pause, a question from Anthony about the importance, and then a new question from Anon about the speed of light. No. What is ether?
The medium in which light travels.
Light travels through. There you go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
How can you agree with that?
Doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because if sound
Okay.
needs
Light travels through air.
Light
Is air
traveling
ether?
through the medium of matter.
Light travels through air, right?
I know John said it was a non sequitur point, but I accept that if sound needs a
Hold on
medium
a
to traverse
second.
through, why would
Light is not a wave.
Unbelievable.
Nobody's
I
letting you
never
do
said
it.
it was.
Oh, hold on. QE's
No,
trying to
they're
take-
not letting me do it. I'm
he
just
wants to
asking a
take you
simple
to a
question.
logical
That's it.
conclusion, and you just won't let him. You've got your own questions that you want to answer. Try again, QE. Let's see how far we can get.
Does light travel through the air?
Yes.
yes?
Is air ether?
No.
No.
Air is a medium, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
is
air
air
is
ether?
matter. It
Try
can
and
be
keep it
classified
slick.
as matter.
Hello. Can we keep this concise? No.
Air's not a medium.
Is air ether?
The prosecution
No.
rests.
Is air ether? No, it's not.
It's
Indeed.
not.
But light travels through the
It
medium
travels through the air.
of air.
You said
Hang on.
you said that light needs ether for travel, right? That's what you said. I said, well, light travels through air. You said yes. I said, is light ether? You said no. The prosecution rests. You're a
never-
numpty.
You can put a flashlight in a little tiny vacuum chamber, and light still goes. You still see the light.
There are no vacuum chambers in nature.
You can make one. There's no
Yeah,
slit
it doesn't
detectors
matter.
in
There's
nature
still
either.
going to be some
There's no
gas
slit
there. Anon.
detectors
You
in
know,
nature.
You don't need a slit detector. All you need to know is the witch path
There's
information.
no
You're a
argon gun-
numpty.
There's no argon guns in nature.
John, let me ask
always
John.
gonna
You're a
be gas.
numpty.
John, if I said that the ether does exist, what difference does it make if I think it does or if I think it doesn't exist?
Here we go back again to this question, right?
They call
Unbelievable.
it quantum foam.
Just let's try
They
this
can't
once
say the
more.
word
Hold
ether.
on. To
What
be
does it matter?
hold on. So air is a medium. We all agree, and there are properties that you can measure of the air. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
Therefore,
Yes.
there would be
Yes.
logically properties of this medium called ether that we could measure. QE, can you rattle off the list of things it would require or potentially could have in order for us to in some way qualify it as having stuff of any description?
Chemical formula or structure, charge, mass, momentum, or spin, or if it's energy, millielectron volts, kcals, or kilojoules.
Well, why can't it have the ability to conduct light?
No, not what can't. No. Does it have
I
charge,
love how you forget
spin,
Tesla in your
momentum,
energy.
calories? Does it have any of these things?
Energy.
If it's
If I had to
energy,
choose anything, I'd say it's classified energy. It's not a medium. Thanks.
kilojoules or calories or any of those things, if it's being declared as energy, I don't care what it's being declared as. Just does it have any of these things?
My conceptualization,
If
yes.
nobody
I don't
is
want to
going
know about.
admit-
Let me just stop, Arwin. No. Let's stop. Come away from the
We're all
concepts.
conceptualizing here about what ether
Come
is
on, step
supposed to
away
be.
from the concepts. We're talking about reality, nature of our world. Does it have anything? Charge, spin, kcals. What was the other ones? Joules.
Yeah.
Does it have any of these
Kilojoules.
things?
Kilojoules.
Yes,
I love how you forget
Seems to have,
Tesla. What is
an
added
excess
to
We're in
amount of
three
energy that
people.
cannot be
My
transferred
God,
from
can you
the
get a hold of
body.
yourselves? One at a time. Does
Nathan,
it have
let me
any of
speak.
them?
Let me
What
answer
is
your
it?
question. Nathan, let me answer your question. You said, does it have, and then you gave a list. Why can that list not include the ability to pass light through it? Where does the list come from?
It's
The
not
list
a
comes from
You don't need a medium.
Can I ask my
Sorry,
question?
sorry. Why does that list not include the presupposition of the very definition I give for ether? Is that what you're asking?
I'm just asking, why is the property of allowing light to pass through it not considered to be in the list of criteria that you demand?
Yeah, and I'm
for-
saying, why are you asking
they're
if
just
your
arbitrary
very
things that you
specific
do. No
definition...
medium.
Hello, shut up! Why are you asking if your very specific definition of ether can't be one of the things on the list?
Well, why are you demanding that only things on your list are things?
Because they're real things that we can measure and qualify specifically
So,
as.
the
Therefore,
induction of light is not a real thing.
giving it properties that we can measure to check if it's actually there or real.
Yeah, but
Conduction
light
of
can
light.
be like induced kind of inducted light, right?
What?
What's the mechanism? What's the process where light traverses from A to B called?
What does this have to do with ether? Why am I being asked questions?
That attribute of movement can be described with one word, whatever that word is. Why can't that be in your list?
Don't care. Ask the list again. I just
up
want
this
any.
I'm asking
My
where
God.
the citation for
Oh
the
my
list come from.
Why am I being asked for citations? I'm not trying to qualify anything, and I'm being asked for citations. Look, QE, please give them the list again, and we'll see if yet again we don't get anything off the list.
Okay, things in nature that are physical, that are real, have either chemical formula or structure, charge, mass, momentum, spin, or if they are energy, milli-electron volts, kcals, or kilojoules. Thanks.
Or Teslas. Don't forget Teslas.
Whatever, I don't care. Can you give us
where-
any of
where
those
does that
things?
These are just randomly picked units. You can't just pick a randomly.
So we're being told that we're not allowed to do
Into
something.
another part of the conversation, Anon.
Yeah, Anon, don't tell us what we can't qualify things that are actually real with because you've got something you can't qualify it with. That seems very unreasonable.
Right, light is energy, is it not?
What about ether?
But answer my question with a yes/no. Is light energy?
Sorry, I'm not trying to prove light's existence. You're trying to prove the existence of ether.
Can you just answer my question, Nathan? Don't do an anon. Answer my question. Is light energy, yes or no?
What does this have to do with you proving ether?
Because if light is able to traverse from A to B, then it must have the ability to conduct that ability for light to traverse.
And light does have the ability in that context to traverse, therefore ether. So essentially, you've formulated a fallacy.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is, if light is energy and light can traverse from A to B, the passage of energy from A to B must be a physical property of something. Otherwise, the light wouldn't traverse, right?
Matter.
Yeah, of the light.
Matter. Matter is the medium. Okay.
So in a vacuum chamber, you sucked out all the matter, quote unquote.
You can't
So
get
what's
all
No
the
vacuum
matter
chamber.
out of
We're talking about natural world here, not a vacuum
Always
chamber.
Okay, so your slit detectors are useless, and your double slits all useless.
Don't need a slit detector. I told you that before, you fucking knucklehead. All you need to know is the path
None of those things are
information.
natural.
Anon, you're a broken record. Stay on one subject.
Yeah, you tell him I'm the broken record. That guy's talking about kilojoules.
Yeah, we want to know what ether is.
Yeah.
Ether, what
Still not
is
getting
it?
any of the things we've asked for. Just a lot
What
of
is
obfuscation.
ether?
The
Any
medium
medium
at
that
which
allows
light
light to propagate
traverses
through.
through.
Does it have any properties that we can quantify as being physical or actual? The list
Yeah,
has been
it
given
allows
twice.
energy.
Light through.
It allows energy to pass through.
Energy. So
Yeah.
it's got kcals, it's got joules.
No, it's conductive
millivolts?
to energy. That
What's
is
it
a
got?
property.
He's got Tesla.
What's it got? Just give us one of those things. Has it got millivolts? What's it got?
It's conductive to electricity or to energy. It's conductive to energy.
Excellent. Can you show me that?
Yeah, the fact that you see stars.
What?
Dude, forget stars. Put a flashlight in a vacuum chamber.
Tony.
Put it. Get
Tony,
a
where
vacuum
am I
chamber
seeing-
from Amazon.
Tony,
Suck the
that's
air out.
Tony.
Put a flashlight in there.
Tony, where am I seeing those stars from?
Where are
far
you
does-
seeing those stars?
How far are those
You
stars
don't
away
know
from
what
me?
causes them. Why are you attributing
Why
this?
am I
to
being
nature?
rumpus? Tony, why am I seeing stars and how far are they?
I don't know why the distance
you're
to stars
using
is
the wrong
important
thing.
at this point.
Well, it's
The
very
fact is, we see
important.
starlight, and that
No, it's
starlight,
very-
whether it's close or far, for energy, the
Forget
light
starlight.
to get
Just
to
use a
you.
flashlight.
Oh, win.
Anon,
I
can
mean,
you ever
Anon,
shut up?
Anon, can you stop interrupting them?
I
I'm
don't see the
talking to
problem
Anthony.
with starlight being expressed as energy, and that energy being conducted through that medium because it's conductive. I don't see a problem with that being considered a property of the medium.
Is there medium and
Why
outer space?
Conduction.
dragging
Wait a
this
second. Wait a second. He said conduction. What is conduction?
That's why I asked what the name was to describe the transfer of energy from A to B. Maybe it's inductive.
That's why
maybe
you
it's
asked, what is
conductive, I don't know the
conduction?
word, but that is a property of
What-
something, isn't it? The fact that it allows energy
What
to pass through
is
it.
conduction?
Matter.
That's why I asked for the word. I may have used the wrong word, but it doesn't change the point I'm asking. I'm making.
What is
The
conduction?
fact
then?
that it allows energy to pass through it means it's allowing the energy to pass through.
Yeah,
That
we
is
heard-
an attribute.
Conjuring up a medium out
Owen,
of
hold
nowhere
on.
where there's no needed.
So what's
Light
conduction?
passes through
There's
matter.
a question on the table that's just being
conjure
rumpused away from
medium
by
out of
two
nothing.
different
Put
people.
it this way: if it doesn't allow
No,
energy to pass through
hello.
it, that would
Why
be an
are
insulator.
you
and
now
that would be
doing
a
this?
property.
Why are you now repeating yourself like a stuck record rather than answering his question?
Who?
He's asked you what is conduction.
And I said I may have used the wrong describing word. That's why I asked it in the first place, and I didn't get an answer. That doesn't change the fact that it's allowing energy to pass through it. By way of contrast, if it didn't allow energy to pass through it, it would be described as an insulator. But it does allow energy to pass through it. So that is an attribute of something.
Oh, yeah. And you know what that
Arwin,
something is?
please, Arwin.
It's an
So,
attribute of
God.
matter.
Arwin, thank you. The question was, what is conduction? And I got a lot of word salad that didn't answer that question, Anthony.
It did answer for the third time. I'll say it again just for you, Nathan. I might have used the wrong word to describe the passage of energy from A to B, but it does not change my point that energy is passing from A to B. Do you now understand that, Nathan? Yes or no? I'll do it again if you don't.
Yeah, we understand it, and we're back to the same point again.
Great. So let the record show that I did answer your question 3 times, but Nathan didn't understand
From the conduction. Let's get away from the conduction if you use the wrong word. No problem. So I turn on a light. I'm going to turn on the light in my room, and my room has air in it. So the light goes from my light bulb. It's hitting my computer desk. Therefore, ether.
So the air in your room is allowing the energy from the light, because light is energy, to pass through it. In contrast to insulating from that energy and stopping the light to pass through it. That is an attribute. It is physical.
Yeah, it's an attribute.
Yeah, it's called air. Gas.
Right. So why can it not be the case that the definition of ether is sufficient, that it allows light to pass through it? That is an attribute.
Because you're conjuring up a medium where there is none needed. That's why.
But in contrast, if it didn't allow light to pass through it, it would be an insulator, wouldn't it?
Are you asking me a presuppositional question now?
You're asking me to define the
Responding to
ether.
what I said.
You're asking me to define the ether, and I don't have a problem with energy passing through something for it to be an attribute of physicality, because that is conductivity. It allows energy to pass through.
Tony, you said from A to B.
You use conduction again.
So what's conduction?
Anthony.
Hold on, 10th man. So conduct through it. So
Okay, I'll accept that I might not have used the correct descriptive word, but it doesn't change my point.
Fine, Anthony, you said light comes from A to B. Where's A and where's B?
A would be the bulb in the middle of the room, or the star, or whatever it is that you're looking at, and B would be your eye.
So in a closed system, where's A and B?
Who cares? The light's coming from somewhere.
No, because we have a gradient, remember?
No, we see something. We see something twinkling in the sky, right? And
Calm down.
Listen, when you go above, when that beeping. Well, listen, when you go above the beeping and the beeping stopped, but then resumed when he got back low again, you still see the starlights.
If there was an ether, the beeping wouldn't have stopped.
That's not light. That's sound.
You didn't listen to what I said. Listen, you didn't listen to what I said. When the balloon goes beyond a certain height and the sound stops, we still see twinkling things in the sky. We see things like the sun, the moon. Right. So what I'm saying
how
is,
does that prove ether?
Try and let him finish.
because if you accept that there needs to be passage of energy from that light source, whatever it might be, wherever it is and how far away it is, doesn't matter. There is something that's giving light off, and you are receiving that information, right? That energy. That conductivity might not be the right word, but the passage from A to B is still being allowed rather than restricted. That is an attribute.
Right, but you're already presuming a light source. You're already presuming a light source in all of this setup.
Yeah, we see a light source, Arwin.
No, you see light. You see light. You don't know the source.
Arwin,
So how can you have light but with
You
no
don't
light?
even know the distance yet.
Look, you're going to get interrupted constantly. Hello. Unless you let 10th man
calm
go.
down, man.
Just let 10th man make his point.
Yeah, come on.
Well, yeah, as long as Arwin could start eating, I might have a chance.
Arwin, stick yourself up. Use that magic button that you don't use. Just let 10th
leave
man
Arwin
finish.
alone. Just 10th man go ahead.
All right. QE said if he turns on the light in his room and it goes from dark to light and it shines on his computer, what did you say to that?
energy was passing from the light to the whatever it is, the eyeball or to the computer.
Okay. Now, is this room a closed system?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're in a closed system because you can't have air pressure without a container. And we have the luminaries within the system. And we know there's a gradient. And we know that gas pressure is at the ground level and it goes up and it's thinner and thinner as it goes up. So now, why do you need an ether in a closed system when you didn't need it in his room?
Because we do see lights up there in some way, right?
But we see lights. But we're in a closed system. That's why we see lights.
Yeah, but what happens if the closed system is in the top of an air bubble at the top of a spirit level, and we're looking into the air bubble saying there's nothing there, but there is actually something there because it's the bubble in a spirit level?
That's a lot of
what are you talking about?
That's a lot of what ifs.
Riley,
yeah, but what I'm saying is, it still doesn't make any sense.
Wait. Can I ask you a question?
No.
The only reason people
no
talk...
chocolate. Hold on. Arwin's still got a point that he was halfway through. Then you can go. Go ahead, Arwin.
Now you wanted to speak and he doesn't.
He does this every time. Every time.
Right, go on, Chocolate. Ask your question.
All right. So the only reason that you're talking about ether, right, is in replacement of another medium, right? Because you don't need the ether if you don't have a vacuum, right? Can't have a vacuum.
Well, the only reason we're talking about ether, I don't even know how we got onto this, but I just
because you're saying you need a medium, but don't we exist in a medium right now?
Yeah.
Right. So we can't have gas pressure without a container, right? So the medium that we exist in is in our existence. So why do we need another medium to do what this medium can't do?
Because this is where you shoot Anon down, and I'm not sure I disagree with Anon. When he says that the sound waves stop propagating through the medium, I know John said it's a non sequitur, but the fact is it does stop propagating once you go beyond a certain elevation. And then when you come back down again, it resumes again. So it didn't go flat batteries. That makes me think that sound needs a medium to traverse through. So why is it a non sequitur, which sound is part of the light spectrum, isn't it? They're similar.
No.
Why is it that...
No, that's where you're wrong.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
That's where you're wrong. Sound is not light.
Part of the electromagnetic frequency of light, then, no?
No. The thing that's reaching you isn't the particles from your speaker cone. The speaker cone moves and moves the air. And that air moves the air in front of it, which moves the air in front of it, which moves the air in front of it, which reaches your ears. That's not the same as light. I've said it loads of times. You're just convoluting the two.
Maybe I am convoluting them, but if they're not, if you can't use them interchangeably because they're the similar thing, what makes them different then?
One, I've just explained.
No, you told me what waves do, what sound waves do, what does light do that sound waves don't?
One requires a medium. Oh my god! Of course, he was asking you, Anon. My bad. You were asking Thicko Anon, weren't you? Anthony?
No, I was asking Nathan.
So one requires a medium because it's going to propagate through the medium, i.e., I shake my cone on the speaker and it moves the air in front of it. The medium is required.
So why is it a statement that? Why is it considered a statement of fact that light does not need a medium?
Because the particles just travel through whatever and reach whatever. That's demonstrated by Anon's pointing out that you don't need a medium. You can remove the medium.
How do they speed back up? How do they speed back up when they go through different
Why is Anon
mediums?
talking? Why are you talking? Why are you talking? Why are you asking somebody in the middle of making a point, a random question? Shut up!
It's not random. It's very
Shut up!
related.
We're not addressing you, you stupid dick. What part of that don't you get?
Anon, shut up.
Wait, how would that even be relative, bro? They're still propagating. Doesn't matter what speed they're going through. We're talking about whether or not they propagate, not how fast they propagate through.
Yeah, but hang on. Let's go. Forget Anon. Anon, be quiet. Nathan said that the light is traveling through whatever. Well, it's that whatever that is perceived to need to exist for light to propagate through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Matter.
If I've got a bullet and I fire it through a vacuum, it doesn't need any air to travel through it. Whereas if I waft a bit of smoke, then my wafting could create an air sound wave, which could be visible through the smoke. But the medium is being moved as opposed to the bullet actually traversing from A to B. Now, I've used that analogy and I've cringed as I've said it, because light technically doesn't do that. The in-between bit is a bit convoluted, but that aside, it's a good analogy.
How does the bullet speed back up when it goes through a different medium?
It doesn't speed. What do you mean speed back up? You're talking about when it
So
goes...
It does.
light-
No. He makes a good
when light
point,
goes through a
actually.
vacuum, is that
Light travels at the speed of light. Sound
It's called
travels through all
friction.
substances. Light doesn't travel through all substances.
so? Light is always at a fixed speed and it never changes depending on the
Sound
medium, like
travels
water,
through
right?
all substances. It is a medium that's moving. Light is not a medium, and it cannot pass through certain substances.
Right.
That's
No,
a big
let's say
difference
you
between the
shine
two.
a light through a
So hang on. So light
Does
is
the
energy.
light speed up or slow down?
Yeah, light, go on, Anthony.
So light is energy, and light does pass through, conduct, or whatever the key word is, that whatever the word that I get wrong, it does pass through that thing. Why can that thing not be a something rather than a nothing?
You've just said the opposite of what Kiwi's just said. What Kiwi just pointed out was, using my analogy, if I've got a bullet and I fire it at a wall, the wall stops the bullet. If I've got a sound wave, the sound wave can vibrate the wall, which can vibrate the air on the other side of it. Nothing has physically traversed the wall, it's merely vibrated it. Because the medium is the specific thing that's transferring the energy from, in my case, a speaker cone, through the air, through a wall, through the air, to your ear. But there's no bullet travelling through the wall, which would be more analogous to the light.
Okay, so
again, how does the light change its speed when it goes through different mediums?
Plus, where
Somebody
is
shut
nothing?
him
have
up.
an engine? Do photons have engines?
Jeez,
So
oh
they can speed
man,
back up?
what a knucklehead.
can I just state my position?
Stop.
I don't care whether ether exists or not. I'm just curious as to why it's so contentious, and I'm just not playing devil's advocate. I'm just playing the I don't know card because I'm interested in why it's so contentious.
I covered that as well, with the
Different
unicorns.
types
Hold
of
on.
ether
I covered that with
conceptualizations that
unicorns,
have
didn't
nothing
I?
to do with one another. That's why.
Arwin's going to make his point. Go ahead, Arwin.
Yeah, the problem with ether is there are so many different concepts that all use the word ether, even though they don't really have a lot to do with one another, and everybody's messing that all up.
Right.
And one of the ether conceptualizations is presuming that light is a wave, and that's just unnecessary medium to create in the first place.
But-
There's other concepts of ether. There's the ether that
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you,
hold,
Ant.
and that is
Thank you,
the-
thank you, Arwin. That's lovely.
Very short, very short. There's the ether that is presumed to be the excess energy in the air. So it's simply electrical. And you can tap into that and all kinds of things. That's the ether that I talk about when I mention ether
Right, very
concerning
good.
mechanics.
So I covered your whether or not it's important with unicorns. Totally not contentious whether or not they're around. But then we've got ether unicorns that are going to carry the light now. Why? Well, because I've used them in a definition.
Yeah, but the passage of light isn't contentious, is it? Light does get from A to B.
Yeah, on ether unicorns.
Or even if ether unicorns don't exist, it still gets from A to B, and it doesn't matter whether it's carried or not.
No, they're being carried on ether unicorns. Do you not?
Okay.
Does it, Anthony? Does it matter? Is it contentious that they're being carried by ether unicorns? Is this really contentious? They're carried by ether unicorns.
I don't see why it makes any difference whether it gets carried by unicorns or not get carried by unicorns. The fact
Therefore,
is it's still A to B, it doesn't have any consequence.
So it's not contentious then. So therefore,
so.
ether unicorns. Not contentious, therefore, ether unicorns perfectly acceptable by everyone. Cool?
But does it
It's not a
matter?
photon
But again,
unicorn.
does it matter if ether exists or not?
Ether unicorns.
Anthony, your first point was that the sound could not be heard at a certain level in the sky, correct?
Correct.
Is there a gradient and less air up there than down here?
I believe so.
So then if you need air to hear sound and it gets less up there, then you won't hear it, will you? Why does that prove ether?
Because the way I see it, sound as traverses through a medium for you to hear it. If you remove
Right,
the
I
air,
just said that. I just said you said it was air, and if there's
I know,
less
but
air there,
respectfully, you have interrupted me before I finished. If sound needs the medium to propagate through, and then you remove the medium and you can't hear the beeping anymore, why is it a non sequitur that light also needs a medium to propagate through?
Because
who
it
says
doesn't
you
propagate
remove the
through
medium?
it.
There's just less of it.
Because it doesn't. Does light go through
Okay.
walls? No. Does sound go through
and
walls?
with
Yeah. I'm being interrupted. Is it a non? Let me guess. Yeah, it is.
No,
So, I hadn't got to make my point. I hadn't got to make my point. Does light go through walls? A medium.
No.
Does sound go through walls? A medium.
Yes.
So they don't behave the same then?
Correct.
So one needs a medium. That would be sound. It's a non again, of course. I'm making my conclusion. So of course a non's got to fucking talk. Shut up!
What if you have a glass door?
Shut up, you stupid moron!
I'm a stupid moron because
Yeah,
I'm pointing
so
out it goes
light.
through glass.
Shut this fucktard up.
He has got a point, Nathan. Light does go through glass
I haven't
walls.
made my point. I'm trying to get to the fucking conclusion.
Go on.
So light doesn't need the medium of wall to traverse through, but sound does need the medium, in this instance, an example of a wall, a medium, to travel through. Ergo, they are not the same. One requires a medium and the other does not.
Incorrect. That last bit's not right. To say that sound requires a medium is correct. But to say that because there's a wall stopping the light getting through it doesn't mean that it doesn't require a medium. It just means that it's being insulated from the light passing through it.
Glass wall will just fine.
Yeah, Anon is actually right. A glass wall will propagate light through it.
I know it sucks.
With that, I will say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on the Nathan Oakley channel, then this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you shared, subscribed, hit the super chat and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on the Nathan Oakley 1980 stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!